Good day. I'm junior researcher Adam Southgate. My task within the Order of Merlin is to create these educational videos for our hunter community. I would like to remind you all to please subscribe as to not miss any future lectures. Also, I would appreciate any of your own personal stories of dealing with the creatures from the spheres in the comment area of this video. Right, on to general announcements. Firstly, I am very happy to be able to inform you that the Pinocchio program has managed to create a workable eye prosthetic. The eye, like all Pinocchio prosthetics, is made of wood, with a whisk crystal at its core. But before you start worrying about splinters, the wooden orb is secured within a plastic sheath that goes inside the eye socket. Sadly, the eye does not grant the user actual sight. Instead, it activates the body's autonomic response, allowing the user to react to things they haven't personally seen, but was witnessed by the prosthetic eye. Like all Pinocchio prosthetics, the eye does take a great deal of practice to use efficiently, and is by no means a true replacement for a proper eye. However, it is far better than nothing. Secondly, we have a specialty contract for a 5-man team. A large abomination creature has appeared within the grounds of Brandy House Farm in Powys. The creature is near elephant size with extremely muscular forearms. Its mouth, that is hinged at nearly halfway into its large skull, is filled with massive, flat, crushing teeth. Though this would usually indicate a herbivore, it has been witnessed easily crushing flesh and bone to a fine paste before swallowing. The unknown creature appears extremely hostile, already eviscerating several large cows. From the gamekeeper's reports, the creature is extremely well armored, being covered in large bone-like plates that can easily deflect small arms fire. The main threat, however, is that, like all creatures from the abomination sphere, this creature will eventually reproduce asexually, multiplying the threat exponentially. If you are interested and have access to some type of homemade heavy weapon, please contact your local order office. So, today's lecture will be on Ratus Sapiens. Ratus Sapiens are a very interesting case for us within the research community, as they are fundamentally mundane rats from our sphere. The issues began when a small group of rats stumbled upon a fey mushroom. This fungus, which the rats guard jealously, imbued them with sentience. Since then, Ratus Sapiens have spread across the world, taking their fungal crop with them wherever they go. As a society, they are very interesting, at a stage of development equivalent to our own Neolithic period, though muddied by their propensity to use human-made materials when available. Their societal structure is rather unique, as the newborns do not possess their parents' sentience. Instead, the strongest male and female are chosen from each litter to receive the mushroom in a ceremony called the Awakening. The ones that are not chosen are raised as livestock for food, bones for tools, skins, and furs. Each colony is led by a single female, who chooses which of the newborns will be awakened, along with deciding the overall actions of the colony at large. All other females manage the construction, crafting, farming, and child-rearing, while the males are tasked with hunting, aggressive military actions, and the defense of the colony. Both males and females view themselves as important to the colony, but with different roles, with the males viewing themselves as disposable, happily throwing themselves into danger for the good of the whole, where the females are viewed as vital members, where the loss of a single one is felt dearly by all members. The biggest issue caused by the Ratus Sapiens is their collective belief in the Rat King. A faith present within all Ratus Sapien colonies, the practices and rituals vary regionally. For our own Ratus Sapiens, a form of ritualistic warfare is practiced between the colonies. Decided by the leaders of each colony, a location will be chosen for the battle to commence. Both sides will put forth their best warriors to do open battle, with numbers in the tens of thousands on each side. The victors will claim the heads of all fallen, both the enemies and their own, and display them upon wooden stakes outside their warrens. However, the connecting thread between all of the religious rituals to the Rat King is that Ratus Sapien blood must be spilt. This god of their own creation may at first glance seem like a non-issue. However, the god that they dreamt up out of their collective ancestral trauma appears to be becoming very real. We are unsure as to exactly how, but possibly due to the Fey mushrooms giving the rats some low-level magics, their collective belief has already created a primordial form of their god. Each colony leader across the earth is linked to one another through the Rat King, allowing the leaders to share information across vast distances instantaneously. As their numbers grow, so too does the power of the Rat King, and slowly but surely our collective disaster approaches. The issue for us is that when we deal with gods of other spheres, their true form is still very much within those other spheres, meaning we're only dealing with a small fraction of what they're truly capable of. If the Rat King reaches true godhood, it will be doing it within our sphere. This would be a calamity like none have ever witnessed before. A being fully capable of reshaping our universe to its will, and considering it would be the patron god of rats, and our own history with rats, our future would not be very pleasant. The name of the god actually comes from the old rat catcher tradition of knotting the tails of rats together. Sometimes these rats would be dead when this occurred, other times not. How the Ratus Sapiens gain knowledge of this practice, their religious symbols being some variation of a Rat King, we are unsure, but we do know their collective resentment of humans is fueling their religious fervor, and therefore the formation of their god. Luckily for us, we still do have time, their god still being very much within its infancy. A small cadre of Ratus Sapiens scouts were captured alive by a farmer a short while ago. Though the majority managed to escape before the Order's arrival on scene, one was still in captivity. After the farmer and his family were dealt with, along with anyone he'd told about the rats, the single Ratus Sapiens scout fell into our custody. Luckily, enough research has been done in the past to decipher their language, which is highly tonally based. The following is the interview I conducted with that Ratus Sapiens scout, which will be accompanied by the translation. Interview starts 3:52 p.m. Hello, my name's Adam Southgate. May I ask yours? Because I'd like to get to know you. That's not necessarily... Look, it's simply considered polite. For us, it's a sign of respect to use the name of the person we're talking to. Thank you. Now, may I ask you some questions, Skraka? Happily. So, why were you and your team scouting out the farm? So you had no ulterior motive? Well, because although we could live with you in our world, we cannot live with an uncontrollable god. To be brutally honest, it's because to us they're vermin, and they have spread diseases countless times. I believe it's my term, Skraka. Do you know where the belief in the Rat King started? The gods of mankind aren't really the same thing. Those who do believe have to have faith that they're there. If they're real, they do not interfere. So, why do you always destroy the mushrooms if we get too close? We've even seen you sacrifice yourselves to buy time for them to be disposed of. It's not for me, it's for the record. Fair point. I think we'll leave it there for today. I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Interview ends 3:55 p.m. Unfortunately, late into the night, Skraka made sure there wouldn't be a second interview. So, the question becomes, what are our options? And sadly, they're very limited. Our overall goal is to stop the creation of the Rat King, or at the very least, slow it down. This is exceedingly difficult as Ratus Sapiens cloak themselves amongst mundane rats if they are to interact with human society. Otherwise, they remain as isolated from us as they can possibly achieve, with many colonies taking pride in subsisting completely without us. When a colony is located, which is rare, teams are sent in to exterminate the members. However, even this isn't straightforward, with each of their warriors wielding small blades at about 1 to 2 inches long. This may not sound too much of a threat until you factor in that they will swarm in massive living waves. Even fast-firing automatic weapons have proven ineffective, as on average each round will only take out 1 Ratus Sapien. So, say you bring 300 rounds of ammunition, and you fire and hit the targets perfectly. That would still leave you with about 9,700 left to deal with, except now they're all very angry at the death of their comrades. We have attempted, to extremely little success, to proselytize the virtues of atheism to a colony in the past. However, their faith remained completely unshakable. The only method that has proven effective so far is, well, fire, as it actually makes their hoarding strategy work against them, though they appear to be adapting new methods against this very quickly. And it is not exactly the subtlest of techniques. To be honest, we would welcome any and all strategies at this point, both for locating their colonies and for exterminating them. They aren't the only group attempting to create a god within our sphere, however, they do seem to be the closest, and unless we can thin their numbers, they will succeed much sooner than anyone would like. Or I guess the other option would be to buy a few pet rats and treat them extremely well so that hopefully the Rat King will look upon you kindly. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for listening with Arthur's might and Merlin's wisdom. Thank you.